I want everybody to say, talk to me then, what? 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 Lay, talk to me then, what? Talk to me then, what?
Yeah, I told you. The black ball is coming back. Suka madoda. Ngumzulu ngempela namhlanje. Awuthi ngiphinde. Hey! Yes. Now, obviously, if you're not a South African, I just want you to picture yourself drinking the most nourishing drink, drinking the most amazing drink that your taste buds ever experienced. Welcome to this episode. Right. Initially, I had a topic that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Like, I just wanted to share my opinions on another topic. But, you know what? After having that sip or those sips, I decided, why not talk about this topic? Yeah, I can already tell that if you're looking at my feet and you're paying attention to my feet, if you have a fetish with feet, I know you'll be able to tell that my toenails are dirty. Perks of living in a rural area, which I'm not ashamed of, as you can tell. Right, so today we're going to be talking about being you, being yourself, being authentic, and being real. Right. Now, obviously, as you can tell, if you haven't noticed already, that first of all, I'm Zulu. Well, I'm a Ngobese, but let me just say I'm Ntenjwa. But obviously, the most recognized tribe, in South Africa. Yes, the most recognized tribe in South Africa and in the world. People who come to South Africa, the first tribe they think of, or the only tribe that comes to their mind, are Zulus, the Zulu tribe. And I'm part of them. We have our own traditional beer, Zulu. Heaven is called Zulu. Right? Obviously, there's a lot of things where if you use the Zulu word or you translate it to Zulu, it would end up saying Zulu. So I'm not going to say all of them. You'll be able to think about them yourself. Or if you're not South African, now I'll give you something to research, right? Just giving you value. Now you're learning something new about the Zulu tribe. Now, let's go back to being you, being authentic, being real, and obviously embracing who you are as a person. Right. I'm not ashamed of the fact that I'm Zulu. I love every single thing about being Zulu, even the bad things about it. Like, I know we are not perfect. No human is perfect, right? Some people, I know this is kind of like a weird example, but some people consider Jesus as a perfect example. But whenever you tell them, you know, Jesus has beaten some people up or beaten someone up, and they're like, no, not the savior of the. Yes. That means you don't read the Bible, because if you did read the Bible, you will see that. You'll come across that. Now, obviously, they're not going to say he beat some people up. They're probably going to use some language, right? I'm not going to quote the verse. Research for you again. Right. So, Why is it important to embrace who you are as a person? Because for me, being authentic and being real, whether in public or in private, is important because that means you're confident in yourself. So whatever you affiliate yourself with or whoever you with, hang out with, right? Sorry, had a sip of this and I'm having a sip again. The people that you hang out with will obviously, what do they say? Birds of the same feather flock together. Yeah. So, if you hang around with people that have a certain mindset, instantly we will think you embrace or you embody or you portray that certain mindset or certain thing that you guys are about. So if you are a skr or you hang around skrs, then you are a skr, right? If you are being or you hang around being, I'm a being, you hang around I'm a being, then obviously we will think Uguti, you are a being. Now, what do I like about being Zulu? Currently, as you are viewing this, in South Africa, Zulus are deemed to be the modern, how am I going to put this? You know what the current definition of toxic masculinity is currently? Not what toxic masculinity actually is, but what people deem as toxic masculinity, that's Zulus for you. If you're outside of South Africa, I'm just trying to make sure you understand why they're trying to make sure that the Zulus have a bad name for themselves, right? But obviously, if you actually think about what actually toxic masculinity is, it's not Zulus. But I'm just going to say, just so you understand, what is now deemed as toxic masculinity, that's Zulus for you. Well, I'm not ashamed of being Zulu. I'm not ashamed of being Zulu. I can confidently say that Zulus are the most confident tribe in South Africa. Yes, we are. We say whatever we want to say. We do whatever we want to do. We are known, thanks to Shaka Zulu, we are known globally more than the other tribes. People, when they visit South Africa, they when they come to realize, or it's brought to their attention that they're actually different tribes, and it's not just Zulus who reside in South Africa. Then now they learn about these different tribes. But Zulus are globally recognized, and I'm part of the tribe. Right. So there are some things that I don't like about my tribe, unfortunately for my tribe. And obviously this is going to trigger certain people, are going to trigger some, I don't want to say fan base, but I want to mention that there are certain people who are going to be triggered. Certain Zulus that are going to be triggered by what I'm going to say. Personally, I have nothing against Amabinga. I have nothing against them. I have friends who are Amabinga, and obviously I've shared my opinion of the whole Amabinga thing. They know what I think of Amabinga. So people that I'm friends with that are Amabinga, right? I'll share an image. In fact, I'll share an image that you'll see. If you're not South African, I'll just share an image where you'll see what Iping is, or what is considered Iping. Right? I obviously don't understand the whole thing about Ibinga, so some things I may get wrong, but the things that I don't like about Amabinga, the walk. Why are you pushing your ass out? Why? Why? Why do you look like a man who has a BBL? Why? Like some surgery was done on your ass. Why? See, that is the most. And the thing about Amabinga is that some people, when they think of Zulu people, they instantly think of Amabinga. That's what frustrates me because it's the walk. Why are you pushing your ass out? Why? Why are you acting like a surgery was done on your ass? Why are you pushing your ass out like you're about to twerk? Why? Nikhiphela izinqa zenu. Why? Why? That's probably the most frustrating thing about Amabinga. And Amabinga, those that I know that consider themselves as Amabinga or that are actually Amabinga, they've never actually given me an answer to why they do that. The best answer I've received or that I got from a being was because we walk like that. So you don't know why they push their asses out when they walk. Why? Why? That is the most disappointing and frustrating thing, and the thing that I hate about Amabinga is when they walk, they push their asses out, or when they pose or stand, their asses out. Why? Why? Right. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I've noticed about Amabinga is that they are actually cowards. Now, I can already tell, and I already know who's going to be pissed off by this. Remember in my last episode when I mentioned why I consider people who have weapons as cowards? Unless if you know how to fight without any use of weapons, then this doesn't apply to you. But if you don't know how to fight without a use of weapon, you are a coward. Because why do you have a gun and that's the only thing that you rely on? People, obviously, there are some people who are scared of guns. But people like me, who have actually been in a who's actually experienced violence, right? Why we obviously know and we can tell if this person is going to be a problem or not. Now, most people who have guns, they are actually not a threat because some of them don't even know how to use guns. Some people don't even have bullets in their guns. But because when they take a picture where the gun is clearly visible, right? Now, stick fighting. In English, it's called a nobkiri. In Zulu, isagila. Stick fighting. What do I think about stick fighting? Well, again, they're using weapons. But at least it's more confrontational because you are actually facing the opponent. Like it's a close. The fight, they're fighting. Yes, they're using weapons, but you can actually tell they're fighting, whether it's sparring or fighting, right? So if you're going to consider hands as weapons, if you're a boxer, kickboxer, or you practice any martial arts, then I would actually say stick fighting is pretty much close to hands when sticks have to be considered as weapons. But I have a problem with Amabinga who just show their guns. We know you're a coward because if we take away the gun, we know for a fact that you are as useless as a kid, or you are as useless as a person who doesn't even know how to throw a punch. I get it. I get it. As a man, you need to be intimidating. Like, at some capacity, people need to know that they should be intimidated of you, or they should actually just see you as intimidating. Now, obviously, the various ways of coming across as intimidating or people knowing that you're intimidating, the normal or the usual gym bros, they don't know how to fight. Gym bros, because if you have big muscles, you're intimidating because you know that if that person lands a punch on your face or on a critical pain point, if they land a strike, like a clean strike, you're knocked out. That's true, right? So it's the gym bros, it's those that use weapons, guns especially. They know, they keep saying, you mess with me, I'm gonna put a bullet in your ass. Okay, so without your gun, what happens? Should I still be intimidated by you without your gun? And if you're a gym bro, if I'm faster than you, now not specifically, I'm not referring to running specifically, but just when you're fighting, if I block all your attacks, should I really be intimidated by you if I know that I will land a punch faster than you will land a punch with me? Should I really be intimidated by you? Right? Obviously, I'll consider the fact that as long as he or she doesn't land a punch on me, then I'm fine. Right? Again, I don't obviously promote violence. I don't promote violence, so please don't be violent. But I'm just trying to make a point here. If you land a punch on me as a gym bro, I know that it's going to be effective. So the best thing I can do is defend all your attacks, because I know I'm fitter than you. I'm fitter than all you gym bros. All you, you're not intimidating. But of course, to the population, I obviously still encourage people to go to the gym, but don't be a typical gym bro, protein shake. I'm in the gym 2 times a day. Me having big muscles means you should be intimidated by me. You look intimidating, but if you've really been violent, or you've come across violence as a person, and you are obviously had an encounter with a person where you had to fight, we know for a fact that you're not intimidating. So sorry, not sorry. Now I just shifted the attention. Let's go back to being. Go, you showing us that you have a gun. Let's remove the gun. Should we still be intimidated? Should we still be intimidated by you? Should we still be intimidated by you? So, I think I've made my point. Another thing, okay, when it comes to dressing, I don't have a problem with the dress code per se, but I have a problem with trying to make it a point that the clothing items that you're wearing are expensive. Now, this also will apply to those who feel expensive or who should be valued to the population because they're wearing a brand name. Now, I have a problem with people who want us to value them because they're wearing or they dressed in an item that is affiliated with this brand name. So you can, if you can already think of someone who values their clothing items. I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to. I don't want these brand names to have a problem with my content, specifically because I made an example of their content. But those brand names that people, when people say, I'm wearing this, look, I'm wearing this, I want you to consider me as valuable. Yes, that applies. That's the same thing you'll expect from a typical beamer, because they will tell you that their pants is worth whatever. I don't even know how much it's worth because I don't even own that piece of item. Their shirt, their shoes, their belt, and they'll even mention the gun. Guns are expensive. Okay, they're expensive. So they'll mention everything about what they're wearing, and now we should consider them as valuable just because they dressed in something that's considered expensive to the population, right? Those are the three things that I hate about Amaping. And it's unfortunate that when a person thinks of a Zulu man, they think of Iping, right? And then obviously some people, or let me say this, all the bad things that you will attach to a typical being unfortunately outweighs the good things about Iping, right? The good things about Iping is that they are probably some of the most confident Zulus you come across, because they don't fear rejection. Okay, let me not say most of them, some of them. They don't fear rejection. They don't they don't fear rejection. They're confident. Now obviously their confidence relies on the clothing items and the gun, most of them. But the ones who know how to flirt, yeah, because again they don't fear rejection, right? But it's unfortunate that the bad things about Iping outweigh or outshine the good things about Iping. That's unfortunate. And that's the thing that I hate about Amaping, because some people, when they think of a typical Zulu guy, they think of Iping, right? So, other than that, I actually also admire the fact that they recognize themselves as Iping, regardless of the bad things that outshine the good things, yes. But they still don't shy away from the fact that you can say whatever bad things you want to say about me, I am still Iping, right? So, I want people to encourage themselves and be proud of themselves, of who they are. Now, let me divert a bit again. I have a problem with women not embracing themselves. Now, this is me being a typical Zulu. Of course, you're going to expect me to say you are better at your natural state than you are at your pampered state. Meaning, if you have makeup, wearing a wig, whatever it is that you have on is not as attractive as you are when you are at your natural state. Because not a lot of women are proud of who they are when they're natural. Not a lot of women will take pictures of themselves and show them to the public when they're in their natural state. Some women go to sleep wearing a makeup and wake up wearing a makeup, especially when they're with their partners, whether it's long-term or short-term partners though. I'm that guy, yes. I'm that guy. I'll tell you right now. I prefer you at your natural state because that's what I'm going to see every day, rather than you being in your pampered state, because that's not what I'm going to see every day. And if you're not confident in yourself at your natural state, you can already tell. If you can already tell my type of woman, my type, let's just say, let me make this public knowledge. I have two types. The wife material type and the short-term type. So your friends with benefits, side chicks, one-night stands. Yeah. Let me just leave it at that. Now, let me conclude this episode. I want everyone to be proud of who they are. There are some bad things that are now public knowledge about wigs, about lashes, about makeup, because you're trying to be a person that you are not. And that is why women who wear makeup will continue receiving the hate that they receive for wearing makeup. Some people look better when they're pampered. That's unfortunate that you being pampered means you look better. But the thing is, whoever it is you're going to attract, at some point they're going to see your natural state. What happens when they see your natural state? Let's say by mistake, because you don't want to be intentional about it. And it's unfortunate, although it's a topic on its own, it's unfortunate that it's unfortunate that women will take advantage of the double standards. They'll just take advantage of it. And it's unfortunate that women today, at the same time, they are superior, they are equal, and inferior to men at the same time. That's unfortunate. Because they can be superior, yes, women have rights, whatever, I have more power than you, whatever happens when I go to court and we battle out in court, I already have an advantage because I'm a woman. I'm going to win, unless if obviously you don't. But also you're equal because 50-50, whatever you can do, I can do, but also inferior because you're a woman. Yes, you need to be babied and cuddled and what. It's unfortunate, right? But my message to everyone, be you, be real, be authentic. And please start posting yourself drinking traditional beer or traditional alcohol. Don't show us all these drinks and beverages that are expensive, your modern beers and modern alcohol, whatever it is that you drink, because you know you're going to get likes for it. Why don't you actually try to chase engagement being yourself, being authentic, being real? Not a lot of people, in fact, I want to say, I'll probably say 5% of the population aren't afraid of showing their authentic, real, and showing themselves being themselves. I can show content drinking whatever alcohol it is that's modern, but I also show myself drinking traditional beer. In fact, if traditional beer was expensive, I'm pretty sure people would start posting themselves drinking traditional alcohol, traditional beer, right? If ijuba was expensive, I'm pretty sure some people would want to be sponsored by ijuba. And I'll even go as far as saying, if there are, since all these brands, they sponsor some things, I wouldn't be ashamed to be sponsored by ijuba. Or if there was someone or some company that makes traditional beer expensive and makes traditional beer trend, I'd want to be sponsored by them because it's traditional. Cheers.
I want everybody to say, talk to me then, what? Talk to me then.